Hello, friends. It's Elise from the Newark Museum of Art. I am really excited to be back with you for story time this week. It's been a couple of weeks since I had a chance to see you, but I'm so excited for the story today. The story is called Pigs Aplenty, Pigs Galore, and the author's name is David McPhail. After the story, we're going to be joined by my friend Travis from Eyes of the Wild, and he's going to be bringing a special animal friend with him. I wonder if you guys can guess what animal he might bring. If you want to, you can enter that into the Q&A chat, and during the presentation after, be able to ask some questions to Travis and his little sidekick friend. Okay, so I think we're gonna get started. If you're ready, I am ready. Here we go. Pigs Aplenty, Pigs Galore by David McPhail. Now, I always like to point out parts of the book to you, and I think I've pointed it out to you before, but this is called the dedication page. And I think it's really special when an artist or an author dedicates their work to someone in their life. Sometimes it can be a friend, sometimes in their family, sometimes maybe someone who they admire. I'm not sure who David McPhail wrote this for, other than the person's name is Jack. So it says, for Jack, good friend, true poet. What a poet does. This story is kind of like a poem, and maybe you'll be able to figure out why it's kind of like a poem as we go through. Okay, so let's get started. Late one night, as I sat reading, I thought I heard the sound of feeding. Munch, munch, munch. Slurp, slurp, slurp. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Burp, burp, burp. Through the kitchen door I crept, barely watching where I stepped. Uh-oh. A crash, a bang, a shout, a yell. I slipped on something, then I fell. I landed on a pile of pigs, some eating dates, some eating figs. In the cupboards, on the floor, pigs aplenty, pigs galore. Black pigs, white pigs, brown and pink, making oatmeal in the sink. Pigs in tutus, pigs in kilts, pigs on skateboards, pigs on stilts. Pigs from England, pigs from France, pigs in just their underpants. The king of pigs, the piggy queen, the biggest pigs I've ever seen. Pigs arrive by boat, by plane. A bus pulls up, and then a train. And I love this. It says, Pigmobile and the SS Swine. A band strikes up. A piggy sings. Then at 10, the doorbell rings. Someone yells, the pizza's here! And all the pigs begin to cheer. Flying pizzas fill the air. One goes splat against my chair. The piggy piggies eat their fill. I get nothing but the bill. He's got to pay for those. I have had I scream and shout, "Get out, you pigs! You pigs, get out!" "Please let us stay," the piggies cry. "Don't make us go. Don't say goodbye." "You can stay," I tell them all, "but sweep the floor and scrub the wall." I give them brooms, a pail, a mop. "Now sweep and scrub till I say stop." That actually looks like fun. This guy's got his foot in the bucket. He's got a bathing suit and flippers on. The piggies work, and when they're done, upstairs they stagger one by one. They brush their teeth and comb their tails. They wash their snouts and clean their nails. The pigs and I climb into bed. I plump the pillows, plop my head. I close my eyes and try to sleep. Before too long, I'm dreaming deep. Of pigs and pigs, pigs some more. Of pigs aplenty, pigs galore. The end. I love that story. There's something really special about that story. It's the way that it sounds. Kind of reminds me of a poem a little bit. Anybody know what that's called? When the words sound alike? I wonder. Rhyming, right? Yeah. So hopefully in a minute or two, we are going to be greeted by my friend Travis. But before that, I'm going to look and see if there's any comments here. Some friends that was going to be a pig, and someone guessed it might have been a rabbit. That would have been cool. I like rabbits. I wonder if piggies and rabbits like each other, if they could be friends. Let's see. Oh, somebody guessed a dinosaur. Could we bring a dinosaur in? I don't think we could, right? There isn't any dinosaurs living today. Unfortunately, they're extinct, right? They don't live anymore. But we have some pigs. I'm excited to see this one. So, can you think of a word that might rhyme with the word pig? If you can think of one, can you type it into the chat? Or you can make wig. Good job. Anybody else? Another rhyming word. Fig. Yummy, yummy, yum. Big dig. Ooh, they're coming quick. There's something that sometimes falls off the trees, and I picked them up in my yard. Who knows what that word is? And it rhymes with wig. That's a different kind of wig. Twig. Good job. And sometimes if you have a little piece of like an herb and you're cooking, you might use a little sprig. Right? Rhyming is fun. I see someone is joining us. Hi, Chloe. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Eunice. Oh, it's great to see names here. It's great to have friends. Spring, that almost rhymes. It's very close. It has a lot of the same letters. Yeah, Fig, Bhavana, good job. Hey, Travis, you're muted, buddy.
Sorry. Now
Hey,
can you hear me?
Yeah, were you in a mud pit with some piggies?
Yeah, we are outside, that's for sure. You might hear
Awesome.
a loud parrot. in the
Yeah.
background. So, yeah, there's a cockatoo that we have out here getting some sun, and we get the parrots outside a couple times a day. Do you hear the rooster too?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
That's
So
exciting.
we're gonna try. Our pig was being a little pig-headed and did not want to come upstairs with us. So we're gonna try to shoot him from over here. Hey, Bubbles.
okay.
Bubbles, come here, buddy. Come here, Bubbles. Bubbles, come on. Come on, big guy. Treats. Come on over. So I hope you can hear me over the parrot.
We can hear you,
Bubbles,
yes.
He is our Potbelly Pig, Vietnamese Potbelly Pig. He's actually a very close cousin of a type of wild boar that comes from the jungle in Southeast Asia. You might be able to see he has some tusks. Come here, buddy. He has tusks on the side of his mouth. So he's got these special tusks that are a lot more like a wild type of pig. Those tusks, they would use them. They have two on the top that curl up, two on the bottom that stick out the side. And in the wild, with their round nose, behind that round nose, they have a hard bony plate. And with their nose and their tusks, they'll dig in the ground. They do this behavior called rooting. And what they're doing is they're looking for plant roots. So their tusks are used for that, for digging and rooting. But they're also, pigs are very, very smart. And in their habitat where they live, they know where everything is. They know where to go to get food. They know where to go when danger comes. So if a predator comes after them, they'll run and back their little pig tushy up to like some trees or rocks or bushes, and they keep their tusks facing out. And then anything that comes at them, they will hit with their tusks.
Wow.
It's really smart. And a lot of people think that pigs are smarter than dogs, but you can train a dog to do almost anything. Do you think you could train a pig to do anything at all?
He seems a little too independent.
Well, a lot of times kids will tell me they don't think so, but Bubbles is out in this huge field. He came right over when I called him. And so he does come when we call him. He can do a couple of tricks. Bubbles, circle, do a circle. Boy, Bubbles. So we train Bubbles. A lot of the training we do with an animal like a pig, you know, sometimes people train animals to do things just to show that they're in charge. Most of the things we train with a pig like this are things to get him to move where we want him to go. Okay, so following my hand is important. He'll even do his little trick if I don't say the words. If I just do this, he knows by watching my hand that I'm asking him to turn in a circle. And that can be really important when we go to the vet. The vet might say, hey, that side looks good. Can you get him to turn around? So getting him to turn where we want is important. Right, Bubbles? Bubbles, you want to show him how you do your hops? Can you do a hop? Bubbles, hop. He says, it's a little hot. Maybe I don't want to hop. Bubbles, hops.
What's his little treat, Travis?
You see that? I'm sorry, what was your question, Elise?
What is his little treat that you give him?
Oh, these are called monkey biscuits. Now, they're not made out of monkeys. They were invented by zoos for monkeys. And they're basically ground up plant material. And they're good for a lot of animals. We feed them to a lot of our animals here. Right, Bubbles? Bubbles, do one more hop. Come on, hop. Ready? Bubbles. No, don't do a circle, you silly. Bubbles, hops. Hop. Come on. Come on, hop. How about this? Will you do a figure eight? Can you do that? Come on. Bubbles, do a figure eight. Come here. Come get it. Come on. Keep going. So this is called a figure eight. All right, keep going. Keep going. So yeah, this movement exercise, right, getting him to follow my hand is really, really important for Bubbles to learn those kinds of things. You know, pigs have been trained to do a lot more than just goofy tricks. For hundreds of years, we've used their trainability and their great sense of smell to help us find things like truffles. Truffles are really expensive mushrooms. If you have a pig that can find truffles for you, you're going to make a lot of money. And your job would be walking a pig in the woods. Not so tough. They've also saved people's lives, though. There are pigs that we call seizure pigs, and they will smell when a person who has seizures is about to have a seizure, and they'll give the person a warning so they know to take their medicine. And it's actually saved people's lives, because sometimes when someone has a seizure, they might pass out and they could hit their head. It can actually be dangerous. There are search and rescue pigs. So they train dogs to find people when they get lost. some pigs have a better sense of smell than dogs. So for the longest time, we've thought of things like this as just food, but they are way too smart to think of only as food. We should really start thinking about them in a lot of different ways. Right, Bubby? Good boy. So this guy, pretty special. I'm going to show you another one while Kim is shooting that, I think, if we have a couple minutes.
Sure.
So I'm going to show you one other animal. Now, this is not a pig, but it has the word hog in its name. This little guy, this is called an African pygmy hedgehog.
Aww.
And what's really cool is his name tells you about him. Sometimes animal names teach us things. So every part of his name tells you something. African pygmy hedgehog. Guess where he comes from?
Africa.
Very good. Then the next part of his name is pygmy. Pygmy means small. If you hear that word in front of an animal name, it means it's a small type of that animal. The last part of his name is a compound word. It's two words stuck together, hedge and hog. Hedges are like a row of bushes. Guess what these guys like to hide under? Bushes or hedges. Then the reason we're showing him, he's got a hog nose, or a nose like a pig. And that nose is really important because hedgehogs are nocturnal. So when they come out and they want to find food, they have to sniff around to find their food. And hedgehogs, they actually eat the same stuff that you kids eat. They eat bugs and worms, just like kids. So when they come out and they sniff around, they make noise. If a predator hears them, they might think that could be food for me. So if something comes after him, he has a really cool way to protect himself. On his body, he has these special pointy hairs that are called quills. And when a hedgehog gets really nervous, they will roll up in a little ball. They try to hide their cute face and their soft tummy. They don't have quills on their face or their tummy, so they roll up to hide the soft parts. Now, usually, if you go near a hedgehog, they roll right up. Not this guy. He is terrible at protecting himself. See, if you put one on their back, they should always roll up to hide their soft tummy. Watch what he does. He says, whatever, man. He says, I'm going to get some sit-ups in because it's bathing suit season. Or maybe I'll just sit here in my beanbag chair.
I think he trusts you, Travis, right? That's probably why. He knows you're taking care of him.
Exactly. He knows that he doesn't have to be afraid. Now watch, though. If I do touch him near his head, he'll roll up a little tighter. And you might hear him kind of sniff or hiss, right? Listen. And he kind of twitches.
Yeah.
So he kind of goes, and that's kind of to warn the predator to stay away, right?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, right?
He is. And when they put their spikes up, would they consider that a defense mechanism for them? Or
that's right. Yeah, that's what they do. And when they roll up, they'll tighten up their muscles in their skin. That keeps the points of their quills facing out. When they do that, it really hurts to touch them. So luckily, this guy's really bad at protecting himself.
Do the quills come out? Like when you go out into the surface?
They can come out, but they're not barbed. Like a porcupine's quills have little hooks. If you touch them, those hooks will hook on and the quills come right off the porcupine and they stay stuck in you. That's why people think that porcupines can shoot their quills. They can't actually do that. Now he's more like a little pin cushion. But if he does he's got muscles in his skin. When he tightens those up, the points stick out and it really hurts to touch them. Now I'm going to show you why he needs them. I want to show you how fast he goes. Because some of you kids, you might have heard of a famous hedgehog named Sonic the Hedgehog. He's blue, he wears red sneakers. He was just in a new movie. So watch how fast this guy goes. It's amazing. On your mark, get set, go. Look at him go. Like a cheetah. He's so fast you can hardly see him moving. Is he fast or slow?
He's
slow, right? See, that's why he needs quills. When danger comes, he's not fast enough to run away. Right? So they don't run. They roll up. They say, go ahead and bite me because it's just going to hurt your mouth.
Right.
Yep. So that's how they defend themselves. And Bubbles is over here sniffing at him too. He says, hey, what's going on? 2 hog noses in the same place.
I've heard of a hog nosed snake, Travis.
Yeah, we do. We have the eastern hog nosed snake that does live in New Jersey. They're found mainly down in the Pine Barrens. There's also a western hog-nosed snake, and they have an upturned nose that they use for digging. They'll dig down a lot of times to just bury themselves in the sand or to lay their eggs. Right, Bubs?
I haven't seen a question in a few minutes, so I'll just give a couple of minutes to see if anybody would like to type in a question. But I have to say, Travis, I kind of like you being outside with the animals. This is a new perspective.
Yeah, a
And
little bit different.
thank you.
These two guys are introducing themselves. Yeah, you know, the pig, we used to bring him to programs a lot, but he doesn't like getting in a carrier too much. They are very easy to train the wrong way. And so one of my presenters used to bring him out, and they would always put food just down on the carpet to keep him nearby, because sometimes he would want to go out and meet the kids, kind of.
Right.
But what that taught the pig was, what it taught him was, if I stay out of my carrier, you keep putting food on the ground. So I'm never going back in there. So now he doesn't really, when we take him to a program, he'll come out, but I have to pick him up to get him to go back in the carrier. And when we pick him up, he makes the worst sound you've ever heard. He's not being hurt, but you would think we were hurting him. He squeals so loud, and it almost seems like we're being mean to him. So we don't really make him do that anymore. Right, Bubs?
He reminds me of the
Potbelly Pig around here somewhere that's really big, and he never went to shows. He actually was trained the wrong way too. The woman would throw food on the ground, and then he would nose at her. And that behavior, it seems cute at first, but it's really the pig saying, give me more food.
Right.
It will turn into biting. So they're really cool animals and very smart, but they're not easy pets to take care of, and they are not a house pet. They need lots of room to move around. Right, Nico?
Travis, we have a question from Eunice. She wants to know, what does the African hedgehog eat?
Well, we feed him cat food. We feed him a little bit of vegetables. He does like to eat mealworms and things like that. But so, yeah, that's his main diet, is a little bit of cat food. He'll also eat monkey biscuits too.
And then for Bubbles, is that as big as Bubbles would get? Do they get bigger?
They usually get a lot bigger than this. Bubbles is pretty small, and he's still growing. See, he was kind of an inside guy. You know, they sell these pigs. They'll tell people that they sell teacup pigs or micro mini pigs. But really, there's only potbelly pigs. And they get up to about 150 pounds. And so what they do, the people who sell you a teacup pig, they tell you, only feed them a tiny little bit of food. That's all they need. But the truth is, you're starving them. If they were allowed to eat as much as they could, they would get at least as big as Bubbles, usually a lot bigger. I have a friend who all she does is rescue potbelly pigs. She has about 200 pigs, and almost all of them weigh about 150 pounds. And a lot of them people bought as teacup pigs. So It's really kind of this mean way to try and get people to spend money on an animal. They say, just get this one. It'll stay small forever. And you basically don't feed them enough.
Yeah. And they're like, Bubbles is like the pig that was in Lion King, Timon and Pumbaa, right?
Yeah, a lot of times when we take him to programs, kids will see him and go, oh, it's a warthog. Yeah. But he's a different family. There's about 100 different kinds of pigs. Usually when I tell kids, you know, if you think about a pig, you're probably going to think of a pink thing with a little curly tail. But there's like 100 different species of pigs, all different shapes and sizes. And so the big pink ones, those are the ones we see the most, because those are the ones that are found on the farm. They make the most food. And so the farming industry has bred those types of pigs. That's the one we usually think of because of food. But there's lots of different ones. There's several kinds of wild pigs. And Bubbles' close cousin would be a jungle type of pig from Southeast Asia.
How heavy is the little hedgehog?
The little hedgehog, probably, let me see here. It's probably just like 1.5 pounds, something like that. This one is not so heavy. And this one's, you know, their European hedgehogs get almost twice as big as this. This is the smallest type that there is. Oh. Let's see, actually, sometimes, I don't know if he'll do this outside, but sometimes this one will walk right back into his carrier. And there's Bubbles eating his meal of food. But he also grazes. He stays out here in the field, and he'll just eat through the grass all day long.
I guess he likes to be outside.
Oh, yeah, he's much happier outside.
Yeah.
There goes the hedgehog back into his car seat. He says, this is where I hide him. Right back in. Did you know you could train a hedgehog too?
He's looking for the shade.
Yeah.
With the same food techniques?
What's that?
Do you use food techniques to train
A
them?
lot of times, or with him, you know, once we get the animal used to its carrier or its car seat, they think of that as their little safe place. And so a lot of times we don't even have to train them with food, but some of them we do. Some of our porcupines and things like that we do. Oh, here comes the bigger pig. Here comes Nico. Nico, come get your food, buddy. Come on. So this guy, you'll see, he's a good bit bigger than Bubbles.
Oh, wow.
And now Bubbles is going to try to steal his food. So Nico's
And how old is he?
And this is the more traditional color for the potbelly pig. They're usually black with a little bit of white. Bubbles got his name because of his little black bubbles on the side of his body.
Aw.
And these are our two pigs. So these are the ones that stay here. This one, the bigger one, Nico, my best friend from high school, it was his aunt's pig. And this guy actually bit her toe really badly.
Oh,
and he
no.
decided that he wasn't enjoying being in a house and asked us to give him a home. So we've had him now for about 5 years, 6 years, something like that.
That's really great that you rescue these animals, Travis, and you folks take good care of them and you get to educate us. But I imagine it's a lot of work.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, this is definitely the most glamorous part of it is doing these programs. There's a lot of poop to clean up after. And there's a lot of work that goes into building their enclosures and all that kind of stuff, keeping them healthy and happy. So yeah, there is a lot that goes into it, but it's a very rewarding job. It's nice to be able to give animals a home when they need one. We take care of about 150 animals here. And you know, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but you guys doing this with us, this is how we pay to take care of them, is doing these ed programs that you're paying us to put together for you. And so we really appreciate that help, especially now, because we can't really go out to see people right now, right? But that's usually what we do.
It's been wonderful. I'm so happy to see you guys. I just saw our last few comments and questions. I know we have about 2 minutes left. Someone asked, how much did the pig weigh and how old were the pigs? And I can't remember if we covered that or not.
So Bubbles, we weighed him not too long ago. Do you remember how much he weighed, Kim?
46 pounds.
I think Kim says 46 pounds, the record keeper.
Very exact.
Nico, we were unable to weigh him because he didn't want to get into a carrier and be put on a scale, but he weighs over 100 pounds easily. So because he's pretty much twice the size of Bubbles at least. And so he's a really much bigger one. Bubbles is, what would you say? Like, how old do you think he is?
7.5.
Yeah, I was gonna. He's somewhere around 7.5. Nico is probably closer to 10, somewhere in there.
You don't give them baths, do you?
No, but we do have to spray. We have some little holes that are where there's some mud, and we'll spray it down with water, and they will roll around in the mud. Now they do that not because they're dirty animals. They're actually not getting dirty when they roll in the mud. It's because it kind of gives them like sunscreen,
right,
to cool them off.
Right.
And so they do that more to cool down and to protect their skin from getting a sunburn. Right, Ju? And so the thing is, sometimes people keep pigs in really small areas, and the mud is also where they'll go to the bathroom, and they'll roll in that, and they can get really stinky.
Yeah.
Right. But if they're kept in a big field like this, they're really pretty clean animals. They just get a little covered with mud, but that's not really gross. Right, Ju?
Well, they're wagging their tails, and I don't know if that's the same thing as it is for dogs, but they seem happy.
Yep,
and I want to thank you again, Travis. I actually can't wait till next week now, because this has just been so much fun for us, and we're just thrilled to be able to connect this way. And it's great to have this experience together, especially putting a story with the live animals. There's nothing better than that, really. So I want to thank you.
He's getting his big belly rub now. He likes it. So he likes to flop on his side and get a belly rub. And sometimes they'll fall asleep just like this. It's really funny. So
Oh,
yeah,
me.
no, it's
Oh.
been great. Thank you so much, Elise, for having us. And yeah, it's fun to put a real live animal with a cool kid story.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll definitely see you next week. I hope everybody who tuned in today had a great time. I know I did. I love learning about animals and especially seeing them in action. There's nothing better than that. I hope you guys are keeping up with our other programs. Every day we have something going on. We also have summer camp coming up starting on July 6th, and you can go on our website and take a look at that and see the different programs and different ages that we're going to be spending time with this summer in this virtual way. I loved having all the comments. We got lots of thank yous from friends here, Eunice and Olga and Chloe, Elizabeth, Dominic. Lots of friends are tuning in. And if I didn't call you out this time, I definitely will next time. Oh, I had a great time with all of you. So on behalf of the New York Museum of Art, I am Elise. I'm an educator. I love books. I love all of you. I can't wait to see you again next time.
Bye.